Okay, so we're going to go into some more advanced editing tools now. So in order to do so, I'm going to just draw myself some an object here. So I'm going to make a box that's 3 feet long by 2 feet wide. Oops, I need the foot symbol. 3 feet by 2 feet. Okay, and then we're going to make it. Let's make it 2 feet tall. Okay, so I have a rectangle. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it look like a kind of like a little stool or chair. To do so, I'm just going to highlight the midpoint here and there, and we're going to put out a little block of it, and we'll pull it back so it disappears. Okay, and so now this is going to be my little chair. Okay, we'll call it a chair. And what we're going to do is we're going to move the chair from here to here. Let's say that I know I want, let's say this is the corner of a patio. Okay, right here. Okay, and I know that I want the chair to be, whoops. Okay, so see what I was talking about before, guys? This is actually good. I'll use this as a teachable moment. I won't cut this. I drew that in the blue axis and the red axis, not the green axis and the red axis. So let's just erase that. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. I'm going too fast. So I want to go in the green axis and I want to go in the red axis. Okay, so this is going to be the edge of, let's say, a patio. Okay, and I want my chair, I want the corner of my chair right there to be, oh, I don't know, let's go 3 inches in. I'm going to just start by drawing in 3 inches. And then I'll get a little snap point will be right there. And then I'm going to go in 3 inches. Okay, so I just drew myself a little construction line, so I have a point to reference here. And I want to take the corner of that back piece of that chair, and I'm going to move it to right there. Okay, so in order to do that, I should probably select what I want to move. So what I'm going to do is go make sure I'm in the select tool. I'm going to make sure that I use a window. We talked about windows last time. I want to use a window that selects everything. So everything is inside that box. And now that I've selected that and I've got it all selected, I'm going to click on the Move tool, which looks like this. Now the Move tool will then prompt me for click the beginning moving section. So I want to click on that endpoint. That's what I want to move, hold on to while I'm moving. And once I do that, you'll see that now the whole chair is moving around with me wherever I place my mouse. I can put it down there. I could put it down there. I could put it down randomly here. But we decided that we wanted to put it down right there. You can see why it might be important to pre-set up where you want this chair to be. Now, sometimes it doesn't matter where a chair goes, but in this case, I wanted it to be there. So I pre-drew that little line 3 inches down and 3 inches over from the corner. So if I want to move it from there to there, I'm going to click on that spot. Okay, and there we go. I've just moved that chair from where it was to here. Now, the problem with that is maybe I wanted to do more chairs. And now I have this one chair here, and maybe I want another chair over here, say a foot away. Let's make another line. I'm going to draw a line over here, 12 inches. And I want another chair there. Well, I don't want to have to redraw this chair. The whole point of CAD, or one of the main aspects of CAD, is that I can reuse things. So why don't we learn about copying then? So we learned about move just now. What about copying? So if I click on the Move tool and I click on that spot and I try to move the chair to that other spot, you can see what's kind of happening. First of all, it welded all of the little lines that were on the floor to my chair, which is kind of annoying. We'll talk more about how to prevent that later. But it's not going to copy, it's going to move. But if you notice right down here, it says Control equals copy. So if I press Control on my keyboard, and I believe it's function or something like that for the Windows, now you can see that I'm copying. So now I can just move my mouse to the end of that line that's 1 foot away, and I can copy it there. And in fact, I could then take it from there, and if I press Control again, I could copy it there, and then from there I can press Control again and copy it there, and you can see I can copy this chair many, many times. Okay. Now I'm going to erase this chair. Let's do both chairs. Let's get rid of this one too. Okay. Let's say I want to set up a little seating arrangement where I have the 2 chairs facing 2 other chairs. So how would I go about doing that? Well, what I would do is I would probably select these 2 chairs. So let's do that. I'm just going to select these 2 chairs like that. And I would go into move, and I would move them, say, from here to the other end. But you can see that it's moving them. So I'm going to press Control instead, and that's going to turn it into a copy. And there, I moved them or copied them over. Now that's not very, whoops, sorry, I misclicked. That's not a very good seating arrangement unless it's a theater maybe, and I want everybody facing the same way. If I want these guys to be able to face the other direction, then I would need to do possibly something like rotate, and that's what we're going to look at next. So the rotate tool will allow me to grab these 2 chairs, and I'm going to rotate them 180 degrees. Okay, so, and I'm going to use the middle point right here of this line between the 2 chairs as my pivot point. That's important to know. You don't know where your pivot point is, it's just going to randomly rotate around anywhere, and then you'll usually have to do another move afterwards. So I'm going to first select the 2 chairs that I want to rotate in a window. Then I'm going to choose the rotate tool, and I'm going to position myself right on this midpoint. Okay, so I'm going to click there. Now notice that the protractor is blue. This means that I'm rotating around the Z-axis, which is what we want. If I had positioned my mouse, say, for example, on the back of the chair, notice now how it changed to be red. It would rotate around the X-axis. And if I go to the third side, if I go over here, you can see it turns green, and I can rotate it around the Y-axis. Okay, so that's very powerful to be able to do that, but you also got to make sure that you've selected the correct axes. So I want it blue on that midpoint. So I'm going to click there. That's my pivot point. Now what it's waiting for is to pick the 0 degree of your rotation. So this, you can see I can pull it in any direction I want. If I want this to be 0 degrees, that's what 0 degrees would be. But I want this to be 0 degrees. Notice it's in line with the green axis. So I'm going to click there. And now it's asking for how much to rotate it. So if I rotate it 7.2 degrees, that's what that would look like. Now we determined already that we wanted to do 180. So I'm just going to spin it all the way around until it says 180. And you can see where it says angle, it says 180. So I can just click. Now, of course, maybe I miscalculated and I put my chairs a little too close. That's okay. I can just use the move tool, and I can move them back in the red axis to something a little more comfortable. Okay. So what did we learn in this video? We learned how to select objects. We learned how to move objects. We learned how to copy objects. And we learned how to rotate objects. Okay. So at this point, I think I'm going to stop because the next topic is a little more complicated, and that is the idea of grouping and or creating components. So we'll talk a little bit about those in the next video.